Yeah, but I watched the game yesterday.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I did.
What y'all think, man? What y'all think about how the Lakers are looking and how the Warriors are looking?
Is it too early to say Warriors to the finals yet, or?
I don't know.
Very.
I personally think it is. Honestly, me personally, I don't think this game was more telling about how the Warriors were playing. I think it was more telling about how the Lakers were playing. I think they wasn't hitting their marks. It was kind of an interesting game. It was a sloppy game to me.
Definitely. And I think what people got to realize is that Lakers played all their starters, and we didn't have Clay, we didn't have Kuminga. And we played a lot of our bench players, so we were looking pretty nice. So that was definitely telling.
For real.
Jordan Poole's he looking scary, man.
Jordan Poole's looking nice.
He's the third splash, bro. Like shit.
Come
they
on,
have all
bro.
three of them. That's gonna be dangerous.
He's already pulling from Steph range, bro. It's a really exciting sight to see.
And do you see
with the bench unit,
his confidence too? Like his confidence is going crazy, and that's what I like to see. That's what I love to see.
Yeah, because he had a rough game starting out, but then he just kept shooting.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah, so it's good to see that he's not getting too down on himself like he used to. I think that's what stops younger players from, getting to the next level, is just being too down on themselves. So I'm glad he's gotten over that mental hurdle. But yeah, you think, DJ, that Warriors in the finals now, bro?
Man, okay.
I don't know. I was watching that other game. Milwaukee looks crazy.
Okay, so this is my take. All right, so let me give y'all my take. So the Warriors play style, right? If you guys look at last season, the way the Warriors play and the way the attention that Stephen Curry draws, right? If you guys noticed yesterday, they do that pick and roll where they send two defenders on Steph, and all he does is that little hook pass, right? They do that every single time. And the reason why I say it's so dangerous is because they're doing all that. But if you add Clay to the wing, imagine if you got two people doing that and Steph can do that pick and pop or pick and roll, and then he could dash it to Clay, right? And then you got Clay just running around and you got Steph just running around. I think their play style is perfect, and I think defenders won't be able to stop it. If you got two people that are sharpshooters like that, just running all over the place and you just setting screens all over them for them, dangerous. That's my opinion.
I hope so, man. I mean, prayers to Clay, man, and his recovery. He got to be the same player in order for that to work.
Yeah.
1000%. We just got to hope for Clay to come back soon and recover to 100% quickly.
Yeah.
And we'll have a fun playoffs if that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad basketball's back. I got it playing right now behind me. It's it's gonna be going on for 24/7. So. I don't know. You got who's the finals pick since the season started? DJ got Warriors. Who they playing? DJ.
Okay. You know what? So I want the Warriors to make it to the finals, obviously.
Oh, so now we got to come back to reality.
No. Because I'll be honest. I'll come back to reality. Obviously, I got my bias. I got my Warriors, but just looking at it, I have to take all things into consideration. I have to take. If Clay isn't 100%, right? If Clay isn't 100%, it's not going to work. So right now, early picks, LeBron, you cannot count that man out. You can never count him out. So Lakers, they have to be there because of the fact that LeBron historically has always shown that he could bounce back from the beginning of the season. So Lakers, definitely in the Western Conference Finals. I really like Jokic, man. I really like that. I really like Jokic, man. I think they could do crazy. Him and Jamal Murray, I think the Nuggets can go crazy. So maybe Lakers and Nuggets, and then for the Eastern Conference, it's definitely going to be Nets and Bucks again. And then Nets is going to have to do it. Nets is going to have to take it to the finals.
I don't know. Giannis is looking even more dangerous. He's got a shot now. If he's hitting that consistently, it's over.
He has touch around the rim. It looks scary, bro. I was scared. I was just personally scared that entire game, bro. I was nuts.
Giannis is a monster, man.
KD was
only
looking
getting better. He's only getting better.
Yeah.
Bigger and better.
For real.
That's crazy, man. He pulling up with confidence.
God, what do you feed him?
I don't know, man.
No idea.
Freak.
I'm reading his biography right now, just trying to figure out what's the formula. Because that man's going crazy right now.
For sure.
What's your guys' picks?
No, I like the Warriors in the finals if we're fully healthy, and I think they'll play the Bucks. I don't think anyone's better than Milwaukee, and unfortunately, the Sixers ruined their chances at doing anything for the foreseeable future. And
Well, it depends if they get that Ben Simmons trade off.
Which trade?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what
I'm
like
telling, it has to be
hypothetical
Kyrie.
in the future trade that I'm talking about that hasn't happened yet, but when it happens, if it's a good one.
The only trade that works is Kyrie Ben Simmons. Like it's perfect. It honestly works out for both teams. Like the fucking 76ers get all-star superstar Kyrie, and the Nets get Ben Simmons with Ben Simmons, who can now have an open paint to drive with shooters all around him instead of Embiid just like clogging up the paint for him. Yeah. Like, so it's a whole different situation for him. So like, I think that's honestly a win-win for both teams.
It's just they're in the same conference, Mike.
Huh?
They're in the same conference.
Who cares? They can both not going to play.
Either way, like neither team is going to have that player play. So like they might as well just make the swap so they get a star, like they get a star in return. Like
see each other. That's
who cares? They see each other 4 times a year.
Yeah,
it's like Kyrie is currently like for the Nets, Kyrie is currently playing 0 out of 82 games a year. Would you rather have Ben Simmons trying his hardest for 82 games in the year while having Kyrie playing his hardest for the Sixers 82 games a year? Or would you just rather have them both not play and say, yeah, KD and Harden can easily take out the Sixers, but it's going to be a harder challenge for the Bucks? Like, I don't see it that way. You're not looking at third place. You're looking at first place and what you could do to make your team better, in my eyes. So I think it could work.
That does work.
It works.
That
you
works.
heard it here first. Mostly bullshit on podcast.
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time I actually heard about that trade idea. I'm not gonna lie, and it works perfectly.
Think about it.
And it works perfect. But what do you guys feel about?
Who cares who wins?
But Kyrie already said that if you decide to trade me, I'm going to retire. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's bluffing?
No. He rebuted that by saying he is not going to retire in that IG live. Like he said, an IG live saying y'all are like taking words out of my mouth. I did not say none of that. Y'all hear it from the source. I'm not retiring. And so, Brandon, just think on it. You shouldn't. I think you're making a reactionary comment to this statement, but you should think on this one because this can happen.
So you'd rather them both get traded to the Western Conference?
Because Ben Simmons is still playing 82 games a season, but we know how much output he's going to put out. Like,
I feel like the Philly front office is trying to like punish Ben Simmons, and they're going to try to send him to like purgatory, some like team that's terrible. They don't want to send him to the Nets where they might see him in the playoffs. But
like, if you could have
they don't want those problems.
No. I think they would rather. Come on now. If you're in Philadelphia situation, in a toxic situation like that, how that is, you would rather get Kyrie than Ben Simmons. Like, would you rather keep Ben or get Kyrie? What would you do if you were Elton Brand, right? Would you rather keep? Would you keep? And I'm talking about like if Ben Simmons actually played, would you rather have Ben Simmons and Joel together or Kyrie and Joel together?
But then also
want to have Kyrie and Joel together. That sounds like Shaq.
Right?
But
but
if you have to see the Nets and you end up losing to the Nets in the playoffs, that's a bad trade.
Let me explain why it's not. Let me explain why that's not a bad trade. I want to explain why that's not. I want to explain why that's not a bad trade because even if that situation happens in season 1, how attractive do you think this team will be as a trade target going forward?
Boom.
Like it's because like it doesn't end after one season.
Boom.
There is
Boom.
like everything is not like end of season minded. There can be a growth mindset and a projection where you want to get to, and it doesn't all have to come by the end of the season. This is a shit show of a season, and if that were to happen for the Sixers, you would honestly be so happy.
Hold on. I want to say something. Philly had AI. Kyrie Irving.
And yeah, that's like
they will embrace Kyrie Irving.
But
I think they will embrace Kyrie Irving. They will embrace him. It's just going to be like a memory for them. It's just going to be reminiscent. Like, I don't know. I just thought about that right now. So
I like that.
I think it'll work out for both teams. You don't got to deal with the drama. I mean, yes, they're all good. They're gonna bring drama.
But it resolves the drama. It like really resolves the pain points in both of these dramas. It actually provides assets to both of these teams when they're swapped, and they have both strategic advantages to make this happen. The contracts are similar. Ben is a 5'180". Kyrie is a 4'160". You know what I'm saying? It will work.
It works. I cannot believe that this is the first time I'm hearing this, and you know it's gonna come up in the media soon. Like,
But the only thing I can
Stephen A. cite your sources, bro.
Like with Kyrie, and he's got whatever his personal reasons are. He may like take games off and do that kind of stuff. That might upset Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid isn't going to be afraid or as willing as KD was to just kind of be quiet and accept it.
Games off too, Mike.
Yeah.
Huh?
Joel Embiid.
I guess, too. But yeah, you're right. But
he's not going to throw 2 point guards under the bus in 2 years. No. I don't think he's going to do that. Joel Embiid has still received backlash for what is going on, even though he is he was right when he was saying, he just did it in a terrible way of saying it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he burnt that bridge, and that's on him. He could have done it in a better way. He's not going to do that publicly again.
Right.
Ever.
His problem with Ben Simmons is that Ben Simmons don't shoot. Kyrie don't have that problem. So they're never going to have a problem, I don't think. As long as he just keeps being themselves. Like, Kyrie could be totally himself, and you're right. Like, it'll work perfectly.
It'll literally be Shaq and Kobe.
It would.
Yeah,
it would.
Wow. That'd be dope to see. The East would be like instant powerhouse, like balance of power shifted.
That'd be dope to see.
Well, speaking of growth and future projections, this is the Mostly Bullshitting Podcast once again.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Solomon.
I'm DJ.
Today we have a special guest. Let me introduce you. So this is my good homie from way back in the day. We came up together in the ragged streets of Union City. And now we're doing big things, making big bread, doing it big time. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to introduce my homeboy DJ Hamza. He has something special that he wants to explain, introduce, expose to the public, and wants to do it in his own word, in his own way, in his own little world. So explain what you're doing, DJ, and pleasure having you on.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This is actually my first podcast, so I'm glad that I'm able to do it with Brandon, my childhood friend, and I'm glad that we've been able to keep in touch this many years. So I really am glad that I'm able to do this. So like I said, my name is DJ, Adex, my full name. I come from Nigerian descent. A little bit about me. I'm 25 years old. I was born in Nigeria. Came to the United States when I was 1 year old, and lived in Union City pretty much my whole life. In high school, I was in the speech and debate team. That's how I met, that's not how I met Brandon, but that's how we became really close friends. After high school, I went to the University of San Francisco, and I majored in biology. I got my degree there. And since then, I've been working at Stanford, and I work in the medical field in oncology, and with aspirations to become a physician assistant. The reason why I'm here today is because last year I picked up a hobby, so to speak, and a hobby that turned into a passion and has propelled into something that's now today that's been going forward. And what that is Adex Trades, right? And so Adex Trades is a community of like-minded individuals who want to learn and profit with the financial markets. So the stock market, right? The stock market has been something that people that use to invest in to grow their capital. And the stock market was something that I learned about last year during the pandemic. As everyone knows, during the pandemic, it was like a time where a lot of people got to sit down, relax, and to like pick up things that they got to pick up new things and new hobbies and things like that. So randomly, I was like sitting down on my desk one day and I was just looking at YouTube videos, and I just saw videos about like investing, right? And so I just got interested in it. And so the initial videos that I watched had to do with Acorns platform. I don't know if you guys know what the Acorns platform is, where you get to, it's an investment tool, and it's like catered to beginners. And what you get to do is that you get to deposit money and you link your debit card. And what they do is that they take the remaining like cents of your payments, right? So let's say if you go to a store and you buy something for like $2.50. So the remaining 50 cents of that dollar will go into your investment portfolio, which is the Acorns account. So it's like a way for you to passively invest, right? So I did that, and I realized that like maybe a month or two later that I actually started growing my money, and I was like, whoa, this is dope. And so I was like, dude, I want to learn more about investing. And so it just happened to be at the time where I got to sit down and I got to actually look and research and learn about investing. So as we all know, there was this big hype that came with investing last year, right? A lot of people were able to grow their money, and the reason why is because of the pandemic. The stock market fell, and you'll know when you learn about investing is that you can actually take advantage of dips, right? Things are priced lower, and so like they're actually not as true value. So you can buy things at a low price, and you can wait for it to go back to its normal price. So that's what a lot of people did, and that is why a lot of people made a lot of money in 2020. As you all know, there's a quote that it says that like sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but I think it says like 80% of the world's circulation was made in 2020. That's how much money was put into the world circulation. So a lot of people were able to make money. And there's millionaires and trillionaires and billionaires that became richer, obviously, and the poor and the middle class and the lower class, obviously, more of a wealth gap. So it was a time for individuals to take advantage of the opportunity, so to speak, right? Because everything was at a low. So it was also a time that I was learning about things. I learned about investing. I also learned about something that was called options trading, which I'll go more into about, And that eventually went into something where I was investing my money. I learned about options trading, and then I was able to use everything that I learned about options trading and actually be able to make profit with it. With the knowledge that I gained about learning the financial markets, I began to tell my friends, and I began to tell like other people, like, hey, are you investing? If you're not investing, there's like a certain play, or there's a certain move that you can get into and you can make money off of it. Eventually, people started like catching on, and people started making money, and my friends started making money. And then eventually they started telling me that, like, you should actually do something about this. You should actually make like a Discord server. So I made a Discord server in June. And since then, that Discord server has been used as an opportunity to teach people how to trade, teach people how to invest, and teach people how to make money. And since then, it's grown to where I have about almost 600 members now in about 4 months. And pretty much we tackle the financial markets every day, where people just learn and people profit. And we make money off of investing in stocks, investing in options trading, or trading options in cryptocurrencies and the Forex markets. So that's essentially like an overview of what Adex Trades is. It's a community where we just learn, grow, and profit together, and we learn about the financial markets. And it's been something that is definitely, it's taken off. It's been taken off. So that's a little biography about that.
Oh man, so yeah, so we're really, myself, definitely very proud, of your accomplishments, man, and what you were able to do and how you're able to impact so many people. So I would say explain what it takes to get started as an investor.
Definitely.
Yeah. What's the like 1, 2, 3 things?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So the reason why people invest is because they want to grow their money, right? In comparison to putting your money in a bank account or in a savings account, right? Your money actually, it doesn't grow in a savings account. Because of inflation and other factors, your money actually depreciates. And your money actually depreciates at about like a 2% rate every year. So how do you combat inflation as years continue? You invest your money. And what do you invest in? You invest your money in companies that you believe in. So the people invest their money into stocks, right? And what is stocks? Stocks are shares that companies issue to grow their capital, right? So let's say I'm company XYZ and I want to grow my company, but I don't have the current capital for it. What I will do is that I'll issue shares of my company and I'll give it to investors so they can invest in that company, and in return, I get that capital. What do investors get, on the other hand, is that they get part ownership of my company. So you as an investor, us as we invest, we are literally, we are part owners of these companies. So when I invest in Nike, and this is why people should be proud to be investors, because they should be proud to say I'm part owner of a company. When I invest in Nike, I'm a part owner of Nike. When I invest in Tesla, I'm a part owner of Tesla, right? I actually have the right to participate in these shareholder meetings, and I actually have a right to vote when it comes to these companies' decisions. So if they want to switch to a different CEO, if they want to go to a new route, if they want to acquire a different company, I have a right as a shareholder to participate in those meetings and make a decision. Now, the more shares you have as an investor, the more say you get to have in these decisions, right? And so that's the broad overview of why like you invest, is because you believe in a company, you believe that a company is going to grow. And with these shares, as the company does grow, the demand gets higher for these companies and these shares appreciate, right? And that is how you, as an investor, your money gets to grow instead of being in a savings account. Because as the company gets bigger and as the company acquires new companies, as the company makes new products, these shares become more valuable, and in return, they appreciate, right? So that is why you as a person, as an individual, should be investing in companies that you believe in, because in return, your money, if you actually put your money in these companies, they will get to grow over time, right? So what is the first step into investing in a company? First, think about the company. And it's really like on the basic level, it's like think about a company that you love. If it's Nike, right? I love giving the Nike example because, you know, we love hoops, we love J's, we love shoes and things like that, right? We all buy Nikes and stuff, but we never thought about investing in the company Nike. If we know, right, and we all know the history of Nike, we know how long they've been doing things, we know the different innovations that they've made. I'm pretty sure you guys think that Nike's probably going to be around for a pretty long time, and they're probably going to make new innovations. If that's the case, you invest in Nike. You know what I'm saying? And as they grow, your money will grow. How do you invest in Nike? You get a brokerage. A brokerage is where they can issue your shares and where you get to invest in these companies. And that's how you get your portfolio, and that's where those shares are, and they're from a brokerage. So that's the first way to invest in a company.
Awesome. And so what are some brokerage platforms that people might be able to use that you prefer using, and why do you prefer using those specific brokerage platforms?
Got you. So a couple of brokerage platforms, you have Robinhood, you have Webull, you have TD Ameritrade, you have M1 Finance, you have E-Trade, and there's a couple other ones. You have Interactive Brokers, TradeStation, Fidelity. The one I would recommend for beginners and for initial investors is Robinhood. And the reason why I recommend Robinhood is because Robinhood has a good user interface. Robinhood is relatively new in the game, but they've really created it to that beginner. The way that the user interface is set up, you can just see the lines. It looks all pretty and stuff, and it makes it simple for you to invest. They were smart when you make an investment, when you buy a stock, they give you like they show you like confetti on the screen, like, oh, congratulations, you just bought a stock, right? To make it like, like, oh, cool, like I just bought a stock. So Robinhood is the one I would recommend for like initial investors if you want to start investing. Then you have Fidelity and TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade and Fidelity, I'd say they're more for the professional investor because they have a lot more tools and resources, right? But those are things that I can get into later. You can do different types of trades. You can like do short. You can enter short positions, which is something different. And so it just has like for a more advanced, if you want to do more things. You also have Webull as well, and Webull is a good platform that I personally use right now as a trader because in Webull you are allowed to day trade unlimited times a day. In Robinhood, when it comes to trading options, you're not allowed to day trade unlimited times a day unless you have a $25,000 account. If you have a $25,000 account, then you can have unlimited day trades. In Webull, you can have less than a $25,000 account. You can still like have unlimited day trades under a cash account. There's a difference. You have a margin account, which means like you're borrowing money from your brokerage to get into plays or buy shares, which is literally borrowing money and you with I don't know what I'm talking about. What's it called? On credit, or you have your cash account, which is just the cash that you put into your account. So those are the ones I recommend. Robinhood for beginners, then Webull if you really want to get started into trading, and then when you really want to get in advance, you can start getting into E-Trade, Fidelity, and then TD Ameritrade. Oh, also I want to recommend M1 Finance. M1 Finance is a good investing pie system, and the reason why I like M1 Finance, I use M1 Finance for my long-term portfolio. Because what it does is that you can pick different companies and you can put it in a pie, right? And so let's say you have a growth pie, which is devoted to growth companies that you think are gonna be good in the long term. Let's say you have a stability pie, that's just whatever word, and this is for stable companies, right? And let's say you have your ETFs, which is whatever ETFs that you believe in, exchange mutual funds. Exchange traded funds. And then you have like your dividends. And what you can do is like for your stable portfolio, let's say that's your Tesla, let's say that's your Apple, that's your Microsoft, and your Google. That's 4 different companies in one pie, right? And you can actually allocate the percentage. Let's say you want to do 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. You can do that, or you can allocate it differently. And you can just put your money, let's say you have $1,000, you put your $1,000 in and it will actually allocate it for you. And so that's a simpler way for investing. I actually do recommend that for long term because instead of you just putting your money like, oh, I just want to buy Tesla today, it's good to diversify your portfolio. It's good to diversify. So that way you're able to diversify because you're actually putting money into different companies instead of just one company at one time.
So can you explain, you said it's an ETF?
ETF.
Oh, ETFs, yeah, so exchange traded funds. So ETFs is probably the best way to invest, or one of the best ways to invest as beginners, because ETFs is basically, I like to make the analogy as like a basket of stocks, right? So essentially, let's say you like technology stocks, right? You have your Microsoft, you have your Apple, you have your Qualcomm, you have your Square, what else? You have your Facebook, right? But you don't know which one that you want to invest the majority of your money into. Instead, what you can do is that you can invest in an ETF. And what an ETF is essentially a basket of those stocks, right? So you can have a technology ETF that has Facebook, has Microsoft, has Apple, has Square, right? And they have their certain percentages that they divvy up into that exchange traded fund, and you can put your money into that, and that way you have diversification across those stocks. So really, in actuality, you are in Tesla, you are in Amazon, you are in Microsoft, but you're in it under that ETF, but you're still considered a shareholder of those stocks. You're just under that ETF. And so I recommend that for beginners, because usually if you don't know which company, if you don't know like the growth, if you don't know like the 5-year forecast of the company, the 10-year forecast, or you don't know their earnings report or things like that, you don't know all the little intricacies of a company, but there's like these companies that you want to invest in. I want to invest in Tesla, Apple, Microsoft. Then you can actually look at the ETF. Okay, which ETF has those? And then you can invest in that ETF itself.
Yeah. What I would actually add to that too is a lot of these ETFs are sector based as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them actually, like there's like a dating app ETF. There is betting sites ETF. And so if you feel like an entire sector is going to like move forward, so theoretically we know that like in betting sites they're starting to legalize across America, and so if you don't know which horse is going to come out on top, a good way to invest.
Exactly. I don't know the exact name of that ETF, but I can, off the top of my head, I can assume they probably have DraftKings, they probably have Penn Gaming, you know what I'm saying?
FanDuel.
FanDuel as well. So like that's a good way. There's a lot, it's crazy. There's a lot of different types of ETFs. Like for example, there's a water ETF that I'm currently invested in. Water, it's crazy. Like water, it's crazy. So actually, the price of water is actually been increasing, you know, because obviously water scarcity and things like that. So water is going to become expensive. So I thought about it, and you know, you can invest in anything you want to. And I just thought about it, like, to me, I think it's cool, not cool, but
yeah, you might want to use a better
It's
wording.
It's smart. It's smart.
It's smart.
It's definitely smart.
It's smart because that's something that we all as humans need, right? It's an essential that we all need. And so like I want to invest in things that we all need, and water is something that we all need. So that's why I have an allocation to that. You have a 3D printing ETF, PRNT. 3D printing, right? Obviously, and I think in the later years to come, it's going to become a bigger thing in the industry, right? So you have different companies, like you have like Autodesk in that. You have Autodesk. They actually do have Apple in that. They have different 3D printing. They have different like companies that's in that sector, and you can invest in that as well. So it's pretty. You'll be shocked to see like the different types of ETFs that are actually there. They're really the specificity is interesting.
Yeah, they even have ETFs for the meme stocks. So like it's like anything you can think of, there's probably an ETF for it.
So
it's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So from what I got so far, buy dips, you know, get stuff for the jug. Combat inflation by investing. You know, stocks are used to grow a company's capital. You're an owner when you are a shareholder. So you know, look at it like that. And just start with something like Robinhood. Go to Webull. Go to Fidelity. Start with things like ETFs so that you're investing in entire sectors or entire industries rather than a specific stock that you might not know much about.
Exactly. You got that right.
So let's get into the more complex stuff. It's the stuff, you know, the day-to-days. How we make the big money, you know what I'm saying? How we get our day jobs, you know
All right. So I could say the thing that Adex Trades is known for right now, and what's gotten the most hype, is options trading. Okay, so options trading is what I like to do the most, and the reason why I like to do it is because it is a different form of investing, right? But when it's investing, but it's also trading as well. but the return of investment that you get with options trading is higher compared to just investing in stocks, right? So what options trading is that you're essentially buying a call or a put, okay? So a call means that you are essentially betting on a company is going to go up at a certain date and you have a certain price. Let me say that, let me rephrase that. So buying a call is you essentially betting that a company is going to be a certain price at a certain date, right? So let me give you the example of Apple. Let's say Apple is trading at $125 a share, okay? I believe that Apple is going to be like 135, or I'm essentially going to buy an option contract, a 135 strike price option contract that in the next 30 days, Apple is going to be $135 or above, right? And I have the right, I have the right, not the obligation to buy Apple at that price. Now, why do you buy a call option? The reason why you buy a call option is, let's say that you have 0 shares of the company, right? But you believe that that company is going to do like wonders, and you believe that at a certain per day, that company is going to be at a certain price. What you can do is that because I think that Apple is going to be 135 or higher, I'm going to buy Apple at a certain expiration date, like in 30 days, and I have the right to buy Apple at 135, regardless if Apple is like at 140, 150, or 160. Why do people do that? The reason why is because if I have the right to buy that, and I actually do, I now have Apple at the share price of 135, but let's say Apple is already at 160 when I get that contract, or when I get the shares. I can sell Apple at 135 if I want to, or I can just keep Apple at 135 and I'm automatically $25 in profit. Do you get what I'm saying? So that is why people buy options contracts, because they're betting that, oh, I think this company is going to be good, but I don't want to buy it at that price. I would rather buy it at this price so I can have those shares at that price. Now, don't forget, you bought the option. So essentially, you not only will you be getting those shares at that cheaper price if Apple was like at 150, you bought the option as well, which gave you that right. So that's just that little premium that you had to pay for you to have that right to buy Apple at 135.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, so that's the, and I'm just going to talk about calls now, and then I can get into puts. So that is the essential, like the definition of buying options. But you can trade options, right? And you trading options is essentially how you make those profits that I'm talking about. Now, I'll go back to the example of Apple. So let's say you buy a contract for Apple, right? I say my contract is at Apple, this contract for the 135 strike price in 30 days. Let's say that this contract is $400, okay? $400. As Apple increases in price, right? So now it's, let's say 10 days from now, Apple is now trading at $145, okay? Now, you have a contract that says, I want these shares of Apple for $135, not $145, right? You can sell it back to I say selling it back to the market, but it's really the opposite end. So whatever the buyer is, whoever's at the opposite end who's going to buy that contract. Mind you, Apple is at 145 now, but your contract is 135, right? Your contract is now worth more. The value of your contract is now worth more because now I have if I'm the person at the opposite end, I can be able to get Apple at 135 instead of 145 that it's trading right now. So your value of your contract is increasing in price as Apple was increasing in price. Because think of it as the other person is like, oh my God, Apple is now going up. Damn it, I would rather get it at that price. Let me just get that contract from that dude. But you're like, oh, you have the contract? No, I'm going to sell it for you for higher. As Apple now, if Apple goes to 170, your contract is worth more because Apple is now 170, right? And you have the 135 contract. So the value as your contract is increasing, that is the money that you're profiting, right? As traders, and you can sell that contract as Apple is increasing in price. And that profit that you gain from that contract increasing in value, that's the money you get. Now, let me tell you like the type of gains, right? So this is why people like doing options. So let's say Apple, you have 10 shares. Let's say you have 10 shares of Apple, right, at $100. And let's say that Apple increases $10, right? $10 times 100 shares was that? I said 10 shares. So that's $100 increase, correct? However, let's say you have an option of Apple. Let's say you have the 110 strike price of Apple, right? And let's say you bought that contract for, let's say, $200. Okay, you bought it for $200. Apple moving $10 in price, in share price, I don't know the percentage gain on top of my head. That's actually a 10% increase. Yes, 10% increase. That 10% increase, it can equate to a 50% increase in that contract. Your contract could be, you bought it at 200. I'm just giving arbitrary numbers. It could be worth, let's say, $900. So instead of you bought shares, right? And Apple increased $10 in price, so $10 times the 10 shares that you got, that's $100. But let's say if you bought a contract for Apple and increased 10% in price, that $10 price, that contract is now, let's say, multiplied times 50. So that 200 now like 800, 900, 1,000. That's essentially, and let me break it down. That all the reason why we do options is because all the requirement, I mean, there's other variables that come into play, but just for the basics is that all we want is Apple to be moving into the direction of our strike price for us to be collecting profit. So we as traders, all we need on a basic level is just Apple to be going towards $110 and we're going to be in profit. Yeah. That's essentially the basic. And that is why people say, you'll see people like, oh my God, I played Apple and I made like $2,000, $3,000. But if you look at Apple chart, it only moved $4 a day. But the reason why is because of options. And that is why people trade options.
And I think what I kind of want to just highlight is kind of the difference in like the initial investment. And so from what I'm hearing, DJ, is that like if you're buying 10 shares at like $100, that's $1,000 investment. And so if you buy a contract, one Apple contract for theoretically $200 to the rights to 100 Apple shares.
Yes, and I'm going to get into that.
Exactly. That increase is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Like so, it's just like, go ahead.
Yes. So thank you. So I was gonna bring that up. So the reason why the return of investment is actually higher, or one of the reasons why it's higher, is because your contract that you're buying is the right to buy 100 shares of that company, not just one. So when you actually, and remind you, we're traders, so we're not actually exercising that option. If we had to exercise that option, we actually need to buy 100 shares of that option. You know what I'm saying? So, but as traders, we don't need to do that. You can actually just sell that contract because that contract is now valuable, but that contract is valuable essentially times 100 because it's times 100 shares. And that is why the return of investment is so much higher.
Yeah, and ultimately, just to add, like, because most people aren't going to have enough money to actually buy $100 or 100 shares worth of Apple, but the person that's buying your contract might have that money, so then that's the reason they're doing it.
Exactly. And that's how people are able to get into the market, and that's how you are able to trade Tesla. That's how you're able to trade Amazon. That's how you're able to trade like all these companies that are this much in share price. You're still investing in them. That's still an investment. I mean, even though you're selling, that's still an investment, buying and selling. So that is how you're able to essentially get in these companies or trade these companies or invest into these companies and like have it work in your favor if you get the direction right.
So you get the direction right, you have a contract, and you're selling the contract to the highest bidder? Is that how it's set up?
So you're selling I say the market, you're selling your contract back to the market, but it's essentially, you're the highest bidder. So when you're looking at the options, when you're looking at the options window, you'll have the bid and you'll have the ask, right? So the bid, the bid is like the lowest amount that people are willing to pay for that contract. The ask is the highest amount that people are willing to pay for that contract. Obviously, as the seller, you want to sell it at the ask, right? And so, and the market will tell you, like when you're actually in the options play itself, you will actually see the bid and the ask as well, and you can like set your limit to where you want to sell that contract.
You do have to set the limit though.
Yes, you do have to set the limit.
That's important.
Yes, you have to set the limit because there's different types of orders.
Yeah.
You have like a market order, you have a limit order, you have a stop order. A market order is where it just sells the contract at whatever that market price is at that given time. So if all of a sudden, this rarely happens, but like if you wanted to sell a market order right at like some news happened, right, literally at this bad news and it just stock dropped, it would sell it at that dropped price. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a limit order, that is you're essentially saying that this is the limit that I'm willing to sell this stock or this option contract. If it doesn't hit this limit, I don't want to sell it. And it won't sell it for you.
Awesome. So make sure you set your limits so people don't screw you.
Yeah. And so the reason why I really like options, or not the really like options, why I preach that anyone can do this, right? I mean, obviously there's risk involved. There's a lot of risk involved because you can lose money, right? People like to say that it's gambling. It's another way of gambling. However, I do not like to say that it's gambling. I think it's educated risk taking, right? And let me give you the reason why is because you're betting on companies and you're betting on things that are essentially happening in real life, right? I can give you the example just today alone, right? PayPal announced that they were going to be buying Pinterest, right? I don't know if it's an online retail, right? But PayPal is going to be buying Pinterest today. You could be a normal individual just doing their normal daily routine, and you hear that news that PayPal is buying Pinterest. That's essentially good news, like for Pinterest, that they're getting the acquisition of PayPal, and it's probably going to boost like the revenue and things like that. Pinterest went up today, right? So you, as an individual, what you could have done at that moment, as soon as you heard those news, now mind you, there's other factors that come in play, but I'm just talking about in the basic level of terms. You could have bought a contract for Pinterest saying that I believe Pinterest is going to go up, right? And Pinterest went up, you would be in profits, and you can sell that contract, and that's how you make money. Another real world example that I actually played was that during because you guys today actually the FDA approved Moderna's booster vaccination, right? Last year, when Pfizer and Moderna were about to get the emergency use authorization for the COVID vaccinations, I said, they're about to get the emergency use authorization for the COVID vaccinations. That means they have to make more vaccines. If they're making more vaccines and people have to buy vaccines, they're probably going to get boost in revenue, right? Pfizer and Moderna is probably going to go up. Let me bet that in about 2 months, Pfizer should be up about this price. You can do that. You can buy an options contract in 2 months and bet that the stock of Pfizer is going to go up because you're using a real world event. And if it happens, you're in profit. And so that's why, like, I say that anyone can do this, because if you just know what's going around in the world around you, you can make an educated guess and say, I think this can happen and I think this can affect this company. And then you can make a bet off that decision, and then you can possibly be in profit off that. So that's essentially why I always say that anyone can do this, because everyone has access to a phone. Everyone has access to information. Everyone has access to news. And you can use that news in your benefit, and then you can just go on your phone, go on your brokerage, get in the trade, and then have it play out, after obviously taking all those other factors into account that I can get at a different time. But yeah, that's on a basic level, that's essentially what, like, options trade, buying a call, buying a put. You're buying a call, you believe this company is going to go up by this certain time. Buying a put, you believe this company is going to go down by a certain time. If a company has bad news or something, or missed earnings or things like that, they dropped. Yesterday, Novavax, they got a delay in their distribution of their vaccines, dropped 25%. A member in my group turned, I'm not making this number up, a member in my group, because it was a 25% drop, and Novavax was, I believe, at 150 or 170 at the time, and then it dropped to 118. That was a 2,500% return. He turned $50 into $2,500 just because he got in that play. And then news dropped, and it dropped 25%. That's essentially options. And that's the type of money that can happen just because you believe something was going to happen, and then the stock, and then it happens with the stock price. It shows the stock price, and then you profit off of it.
Is that like the opposite of a call, where it's the right to sell rather than the right to buy at a certain price?
So buying a put option is you betting that the company is going to be, the share price of a company is going to go down. So you have to you'll be buying those shares at a certain price.
Right. So you'll be buying it at the higher price, is what you're saying.
Yes. So let's say, so buying a put is like, okay, so it's best to give this as an analogy. So, okay, so let's say you buy Apple's stock, right, for $125, okay? You buy 100 shares of Apple stock. You also buy a put, you also buy a put, right? And let's say you buy, the put is for $125 put strike price. If Apple goes down and obviously with that put, it has an expiration date as well. By that expiration date, if Apple goes down by a certain price, because you have that put contract, it gives you insurance. So you actually have the right to sell those shares that you have. Yeah, I'm sorry, I misquoted. It's not buy, it's sell. You have the right to sell your shares for that strike price of $125, even though Apple is trading at $110. That's what, yes. So
that's
buying
it, with buy it back, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's essentially buying it back at a certain price. So it's a form of insurance. Yeah. But when you're trading, remember, when we trade, we are not really exercising our contracts ever, right? Unless you actually do want those shares. Like if you actually want to buy 100 shares of Apple at a certain price, and you know Apple's going to go crazy, you can actually exercise it, and you can actually buy those shares, right? So, but if you don't, if you just want to be a trader, buying puts, you think you're going to go up; buying calls, you think it's going to go down, and it'll just be just profit off of whatever direction you buy.
Right. So if you get it right, by the time the contract expires, you're able to sell it for a profit.
Yeah. And so, and when I say, like, you can buy contracts right now at this moment, and then you can sell it 10 seconds from now. Let's say miraculously you buy a contract at like 9:30 in the morning, and then at 9:31 Tesla news comes out, and all of a sudden, boom, right? The share price just jumps by 5%. You can sell it at 932 in profit, and you have that money. Yeah. So it's just within the given time frame, and that could be seconds, that could be minutes, could be days, just with whenever the given time frame is. Yeah. And what I think I need to, because I get this question asked a lot, like, oh, the money that like people see on the screenshots, like, but is that real? Like, yes, it's real. Yes, it's your money. Yes, you can actually take it out the next day, but you have to pay 30% in taxes, right? So you always have to have money devoted to taxes. That's just the capital gains tax. But yes, there's the dude, one of my members made $40,000 yesterday. You can take that $40,000 out, and that's your money. That's your money. And that's that. Yeah.
Man, well, how do people get in contact with you, man? How do they find out how to make 40,000 in a day?
Of course. So, I have to say this. I am not a financial advisor. I have to say that I'm not. I really am not. I'm just a dude who learned about the financial markets last year during the pandemic. But options trading changed my life, so to speak. When they say making money passively, waking up to money, that actually occurs in options trading and investing. You're investing in general. You're making money passively. So, and with the types of returns with options, and once I got really educated about it, and once I really I wanted to learn it, it changes lives. It changes lives. So I do want people to know that, although I'm not a financial advisor, that I do feel I am very devoted to investing in trading options, and I hope to continue to do this for the rest of my life, and I hope to continue to get better about this. I love to read. I love to read about the financial markets. I really believe in if you really want to be good at an investor and a trader, you have to do. It's like with any skill. If you want to be good at basketball, you got to learn how to dribble a ball. And you got to learn how to shoot a hoop. If you want to be a good dancer, you got to learn how to dance, right? So if you really want to be good, because I'm telling you, the type of money that exists, it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, and it is attainable. Anyone can attain this type of money. I promise you, don't let anyone tell you that no, you can't. This money is attainable to anyone, and this is the reason why it wasn't taught. I can go on and on about this, but this is the reason why it's not taught in school, because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that the financial markets really do exist for you to grow your wealth. That's what the financial markets exist for, to grow your wealth, right? So, yeah, I want to say that. So if you really do want to learn about investing, if you do want to learn about trading, add me on Instagram, Adex Trades, add me on Twitter, Adex Trades, and join my Discord server. My Discord server is where everything happens. That is where all my team is. That is where our members are. That is where we're doing alerts. That is where we're on live every day. We talk every day. And I don't want to be cocky or anything, but the results that we've been getting, a lot of people are learning a lot, and a lot of people are making money. So join Adex Trades on Discord, add Adex Trades on Instagram, add Adex Trades on Twitter.
How do you spell that for the fans?
Yes, ADEX TRADES, ADEX TRADES, Adex Trades. Yes. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and then join our Discord server. I know a lot of people, Discord, there's too much intricacies. No, if you want to make money, you just got to learn it, But join the Discord server. It's a community of 600 people, and it's only growing. I've only been doing this for 4 months, and people, the results are there. The results are there. So, and I'm willing to teach. We're all willing to teach, and I want to help everyone profit. Everyone can do this.
Awesome, man. Well,
that's great.
Yeah, I actually dabbled a little bit in options trading. I was actually a part of another Discord. That one kind of didn't work out too well for me just because like, I had to like I guess like the way it operated was like a little bit different, like out of my schedule. But yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna check yours out.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
can like
yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
oh no, go ahead. That was
Yeah.
it.
And I also like I want to cater my Discord for every type of individual. And I know like a lot of people can't day trade every day. So that is why like I have the investing channels. If you just want to invest, I have the crypto channel. If you want to invest in cryptocurrencies, or if you want to learn about cryptocurrencies, I have the Forex channel. I also have swing trade alerts. So like if you can't just be scalping, and scalping means like you're in and out of a trade within minutes to within seconds to a minute. You can actually be in longer term dated trades where maybe the expiration is in a month or two from now. You can just buy it and then wait a couple weeks and see if it plays out. Wait a couple months and see if it plays out. You can also buy long term contracts, like we call it longs, and it's like contracts for next year. So if you think a company is gonna if you think a company is like going to blow up next year, you can buy a long-term dated contract. And then let's say if it blows up in let's say your contract is in a year, but it blows up in 3 to 6 months, you're just eating. That's just profits. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I try to cater to every type of trader, every type of individual. And I have a big learning and educational section. So if anyone wants to learn that, like you can just read everything that I got going on there as well.
Oh, yeah, that definitely sounds dope. Yeah, I definitely would appreciate to kind of be like alerted about this
Yeah.
stuff. Cause yeah, like in the last group I was in, they kind of like they would like tell you in the beginning of the week, all right, these are the plays that you should get into, and then it's just kind of a free for all, and it's just like I'm working during the day, so when that shit's happening super quick, like I just don't have the time to hop in, sell, like
that's not how it works. Like I've been in different types of Discords. I've been in Discords like that where they just say like, "Hey, I'm looking at this," and then you just have to go on your own. It's like I don't know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. So my Discord, we actually live trade every day. So I'm up 6:30 every morning or 6:25 every morning. Hop on the Discord live chat. I have about 50 people waiting on me, just like, so where's he? Like, it's crazy. If I'm not up on time, they'll like just message, where's Adex? Where's Adex? Is he here? Is he here? The market's open. The market. I'm like, oh wow, you guys are serious, right? So like, but I do believe in live trading, because in live trading, and also not to brag again, but in contrast to other Discord servers, I actually am live streaming the price action on my screen, and so the members are able to see the charts. So I actually have 6 charts up, and we're looking at the tickers. So we're looking at Tesla, we're looking at we're looking at NEO, we're looking at Apple, and then we're all together. If we see that Apple is breaking a level, then we're going to say, hey, Apple's breaking this level to the upside, let's get calls. And you could see it at the moment. I'm calling it out at the moment. So you're buying it at the moment. Discord servers and the whole alert system, how it usually is, it just like you type buy to open, whatever the ticker is, this strike price and this, and then that's it. You don't know. We don't know whether or not that was sent out 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. With options, you have to
be on
timely. It's timely. It's not just execution. It's timely execution. Because let's say a play, like I call it Apple as it's breaking out right now, right? And I call it out, or I type it, and now I'm up 20%. By the time you get into the play, you're only up 2%, but I'm already collecting my profit and I'm getting out. Now you're in the red because you got in 5 minutes late, because you read that message 5 minutes late. Whereas if you're actually on live trading with me every morning, and you don't have to be talking, and like I said, anyone can do this. There's been people laying on it, literally just laying down in the bed, still sleeping. They just have their AirPod in. They listen to me say like buy this. They just do it on their phone while they're laying down. They get in the play, they profit. I say get out, and they get out, and they're in profit. There was a dude who posted a testimonial. He was like, dude, I was just in the bathroom smoking my dab pen, and like I just profited $70. Like, thanks, bro. And I was like, yep, you can do that. Like, you can be at the comfort of anywhere, and just as long as you have your phone, you can make money. Yeah, and so that's the beauty of it. Like I believe it. If you really want to get the best alerts, you have to actually be listening, and you actually have to be getting it at the moment. And all that requires is just to listen. And you can use that opportunity to ask questions as well. If you want to be looking at the live stream on your phone and you see something, you can actually get on and say like, hey, I noticed, what does that mean in price? Like it just did that. And we will answer those questions for you live. So you can, and it will help you become a better trader. My goal with this is to make self-sufficient traders. So you can be able to trade by yourself and you won't need me. You get what I'm saying? And we've made some progress so far with that.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to joining and making some money with you.
For real, let's get some paper, bro. Digital currency. Let's go get that.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's like the Discord's blowing up right now as we speak. We getting ready for tomorrow. They're waiting for my watch list for tomorrow, which they're like, what we looking at tomorrow, boss? I'm like, all right, let's see.
So really quickly, what time do you hop on the Discord every morning?
I am.
Or is it random times?
No, so the market opens at 6:30.
6:30, yes.
6:30. The market opens. So I try to have my live stream on and already be in the on live chat by like 6:20, 6:25. It's unfortunate that we're West Coast, you know what I'm saying? So like we have to be up 6:30 every morning, and like I'm a night owl, so you'll see when you join, I'm making watch lists up to 1 a.m., maybe sometimes even 2 a.m. and I only sleep for 4 hours, but I'm up at 6:30. I get up at 6:30 to be ready for the market. But yeah, the East Coast, we have people from all over the world, kind of crazy, yeah. So I have like people from the East Coast that are already messaging the group at like 5 a.m. because it's already 8 a.m. for them out there. They're already talking about the pre-market analysis and stuff like that. And so I get to get up and I get to look at what people are talking about. I'm like, all right, then I look at pre-market, see the levels. And like I said, I do my homework. So I have the watch list prepared for everyone. So we all know what plays that we're looking at and we all know our levels to get in. And then if as soon as it hits a level, then we get in that play. And then like, yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. And is there, this is probably my last question, but is there like a time in the day that like you find yourself trading the most, or you have like that's like, this is your sweet spot, like this is my happy hour, but for stocks?
Yeah. So for stocks, for trading options, the most volume, the most volume occurs when the first 2 hours of the trading session and the last hour of the trading session. You have the last hour is referred to as power hour, and usually we say power hour because we expect movement to the upside. You know, those are like the best moves. It doesn't happen all the time, but the first couple of hours of the trading session, because at around 9:30 our time, that's lunch time for East Coast and the New York Stock Exchange. So they're actually in lunch, and that's less volume in the market, so less liquidity, less movement for like getting an options trade. So it's used. Unfortunately, like I said, we're West Coast, but if you really want to make the most,
be about that life.
Yeah, like
if you want to be about that life, get up early.
It's 6:30 where we
put that alarm clock on.
Oh yeah,
come on, it's top of the morning.
It's literally top of the morning. Literally top of the morning. Literally.
For sure, I appreciate that.
Of course.
Thanks for the answer.
Oh, man. Well, please, everyone listening, get in contact with Adex Trades. My boy DJ, he got something special. And you know, it's free right now, that's the cool thing, is that this is free. And like these stock prices, yesterday's price is not today's price. You know, this can change at any moment. You know,
that is true. That is true. So get it while you can. Get it while
it's hot.
Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot.
That's
because
awesome.
I do plan to add a lot of features to our server, and then I go into detail about that another time. But like I said, when I do want to be, I want to have the best server out there, you know, and I want a lot of people to make money, and I want people to make money in different ways. So whether that's you making money in the options, whether it's you just stocks, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, whether it's, I even want to get to like sports betting. Like, you know, I want to be able to have a community where we learn about making money together, you know, like even have a section where You learn about like how to like buy houses and things, like how to rent homes, like I want to do all of that. And so with time, it'll get there.
Well, building, man. And that's awesome that you're doing this, man, that you have taken that upon yourself, you know, see fun and the responsibility of that. That's dope, man. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this with us, man.
Of course, man. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. This is really dope. This is really dope. Like, I'm serious. I want to do this again.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. Please,
bro. Like, this is dope as fuck, dude. Like, hell yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, man, we're definitely gonna continue to have guests on.
Sure.
If you're ever interested in coming back, please let us know if you have any new updates, man. We want you on. We want this message to spread.
Of course, man. Sure. Thank y'all for having me. And what y'all doing here, man, this platform is dope, man. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Dope, man. Love to hear that.
Of course.
So, Mike, Solomon, you guys have anything else you want to get into before we head out?
Nah, I think I'm cool. I just wanted to, thank DJ personally just for coming on, saying his piece. This was a fun one. I really appreciate it. I'm probably gonna definitely hop on that Discord once or twice and try to get a little engagement.
I'm already in it.
That was me when I was looking down. All I'm saying, I was looking down.
It was on the Discord.
Let's get to making money. Let's get to making money.
Yeah, let's get this bread back.
That's for sure. Let's get to it, man. Peace out. We'll catch y'all next week. Thanks again, DJ.
Of course, no problem. Have a good one.
Have a good one, y'all. Peace.